Right. Well, an air traffic controller caught snoozing on the job. This has gotten a lot of attention this week. Well, this guy now has plenty of time to catch up on his sleep. He has been suspended. We're also learning the guy's identity. His name is Dan Creedon. And get this, he's a supervisor. And he's admitting that he dozed off that day, leaving 2 airplanes to land at D.C.'s Reagan National Airport without any clearance from the tower. Yeah, the feds are now adding more people to the overnight shift to try and curb the problem. But is that the best solution? Andrew Langer is the president of the Institute for Liberty, and he joins us this morning. Andrew, he's just been suspended. If that happened to any of us, if Heather was caught sleeping on the couch before Fox and Friends this morning, she might be out of a job. I might be out of a job for sleeping on the job. He's just been suspended.
Yeah, it's insane, really. It sort of underscores the lack of proper procedures at the FAA. Hoping the NTSB is really going to take a hard look at it. But, you know, our perspective on this is that putting another controller in the tower to essentially act as a snooze guard is not the answer here.
All right, let's take a listen to what the Air Traffic Controllers Association had to say. They said, quote, in its strong commitment to aviation safety, adopted language in its formal constitution, opposing one person staffing on a shift, that language remains in effect today, blah, blah, blah. It is unsafe, period. All right. So they want to put 2 people, at least in that tower. They're reviewing the policies for towers elsewhere. But that does seem like a logical idea. Why do you say not a good idea to put a second person?
Well, I mean, essentially, when you're talking about places like National Airport, which get a handful of flights between the hours of midnight and 6 a.m., it doesn't make a lot of sense to spend the money to put somebody else up there. The fact is, from a safety perspective, you want to put 2 people in the plane to make sure that the plane lands, to make sure that everybody's in control, that they can look at the radar and do all those things. What really needs to happen in the case of D.C. is to figure out why the Department of Homeland Security, why Department of Defense, why the Reagan National Airport Police weren't notified to go and check in the tower to make sure that there wasn't a more serious situation up there. Putting somebody else up in the tower isn't going to take care of any of those things. We need to make sure that the airspace around D.C. is safe. The best way to do it is to make sure that there are proper procedures, proper checks and balances in the area.
All right, let's get specific on some of those procedures, because you seem to like technology maybe as much as I do, and using technology there instead of having this human error factor. I don't know if that's going to make a lot of Americans feel safe, that you're just going to rely on a computer. Has your computer ever crashed?
My computers definitely have crashed, but it's not just, heck, you know, just put an alarm clock up there that goes off every hour to make sure these guys aren't napping. But really, in the end, what you can do is, if, you know, what was very disturbing is if you listen to that recording from the flight controller in Warranted, he was almost blithely shrugging it off. Well, you know, hey, you know, the guy's not answering the phone. I don't know what to do. I mean, how about calling the police at Reagan National to make sure that somebody hadn't taken the tower? Yeah. I mean, the idea that, you know, you can just sort of blithely let this go by, or simply put a second person up there to act as a guy who can nudge somebody awake, that's not the answer.
All right. Andrew Langer from the Institute for Liberty, thank you so much. We'll talk to you again.
Thanks for having me on.
All right. Have a good day.